What's going on? How y'all doing today? So, we just had week one, the NFL season start. I was glad to see players taking these, protesting, supporting, displaying some kind of unity. Um, I did a video the other day about those racist, horrible fans. There shouldn't even been any fans in the stands of Kansas City booing the unity between Kansas City and Houston playing Thursday night. But I was glad to see the unity and people taking a stand, some not coming out at all. I expect that throughout the season. It should be a strong message sent. And more importantly, standing for something. Don't let those plantation owners dictate you. Now, glad to see the players are healthy for the most part, so we'll see how that all works out. I still have my doubts. When it gets cold in the winter, we'll see. Now on to the games and the highlights. Tom Brady made his debut with Tampa Bay, and he looked pretty average. You know, they're roughing out the Kinks. He threw a bad pick. New Orleans won the game. Drew Brees in New Orleans weren't exactly setting the world on fire on offense, but they did enough. And, you know, again, Tampa Bay looked off. But Bruce Arians, the coach of Tampa Bay, ripped Tom Brady publicly, which you never heard Bill Belichick do. So we'll see how that turned out. I don't think it was all on him, though. I think the running game was a little bit lethargic, and they just looked a little bit out of sync. You know, there's a couple of things here and there that New Orleans just looked like a better team. And sometimes team just a little bit better than you talent-wise. So we'll see. Kansas City, as I mentioned, they spanked up on Houston. Patrick Mahomes looked like his MVP self. My Buffalo Bills beat the Jets, but that don't really count. I don't get excited about beating teams you should beat by double figures. Just like New England beat Miami, Cam Newton was able to run something that you usually didn't see in Patriot land, and he ran really well. It was a grinded out kind of game, but they won. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Dallas Cowboys. Some people talk about that was that an interference, was a no call, what have you, but the Rams looked good enough to win that game. They were on their line was pounding Dallas for a minute, so you know we'll see how things turn out with certain teams. But Dallas's offense and one-score games looks inept as usual. Pardon me. Green Bay smashed Minnesota, and that was a surprise for some, not for me. I mean, Aaron Rodgers against Kirk Cousins, give me a break. That's going to be one-sided 9 times out of 10. More like 10 out of 9 unless Aaron, it all comes to how Aaron's playing. Meaningless games were like last night. Oh boy, Pittsburgh and the Giants. Who wanted to watch that snoozer? Of course, Big Ben looked like a stud because the Giants, they've been MIA for quite some time. And that game with Tennessee and Denver was horrible to watch. Tennessee was going to win that game, and they did. And John Elway's with another quarterback. I'm like, man, look, you might just have to come up to old folks home and get back down there because they ain't, even Peyton Manning his last year. It's been a minute since Denver, since Peyton Manning's MVP season, since Denver's had a legit quarterback. How many have they gone through? And I have to bring up where is a Colin Kaepernick in this because he's better than the mess I saw last night in Denver. Both them quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill and the rookie. Oh boy. Anyway. Cleveland and the overrated Baker Mayfield got smashed by Baltimore. Lamar Jackson did an MVP performance. But what did you expect? Baker's got excuses. Chargers beat Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's debut. He looked pretty good in some spots, but they're the Bengals. And the Chargers, both teams looked lackluster on offense. So it was kind of a dull game. Las Vegas Raiders beat Carolina. Interesting, high-scoring game. Can't really make heads or tails where the Raiders are because, Carolina ain't exactly playing much defense. But, it was what that was. Arizona beat San Francisco. And I think San Francisco going to have that hangover from the Super Bowl. Kyler Murray was out there getting his Jets on. And he got DeAndre Hopkins. Houston, what were you thinking? He looked good. And that's going to be a team to keep your eye on. Russell Wilson, Seattle, they beat Atlanta. Atlanta took a couple fourth down plays, which could have been a little bit closer game. I wasn't impressed by neither team's defense per se. No, Jamar Adams had some big plays for Seattle. But Russell Wilson is an MVP consideration every year. Don't sleep. This guy's one of the all-time. He's about to be one of the all-time greats. That man can play. He doesn't always get his due. He's got a lot of critics. I don't know why. Washington, the football team, who finally get rid of that racist last name, came back and beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia looked lost. Washington's defense came up. Ron Rivera got some results. That was a biggie. They looked pretty good. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Detroit choked against Chicago. The rookie dropped the ball in the end zone. You know, Mitch Trubisky had his usual schizophrenic. One half he looked lost, the other half he looked normal. There's a lot of that I'm seeing with a lot of these teams. The parity, the mediocrity, it's a carryover. And we'll see how it all plays out. Jacksonville beat Indianapolis and Phillip Rivers' debut for the Colts. Typical Phillip Rivers, threw a bad pick. T.J. Hilton dropped a big pass. You know, again, a lot of stuff that I saw last year is rethreading this year so far. We'll see if there'll be any cleanups or what have you. But once you get past the main teams and the main names, it's pretty lackluster down from there. We'll see how it all turns out. But, you know, right now, the tiers are very much well pronounced. But that's just my week one takes. But what's your thoughts and takes about week one NFL returns? What do you see? What do you think? Give me your thoughts and takes. Hit that like and subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for one another. And there's a lot going on. This season is going to be uncharted territory. I'm out.